So today we're at the Burroughs Range, which is our sniper range for the Army Sniper course. We're doing our day one group-in activity or actual event. So today is the first event you do in sniper school. Basically what you're doing is 25 rounds with the M4 iron sights, and we're assessing your ability to actually continue in this course. So those basic marksmanship skills you need to have when you show up to this course, you need to be able to show that, display that by grouping in 5 rounds, 3 out of 5 targets within a 4-centimeter circle.
I'm Sergeant Blake Parrish. I'm from 2nd Battalion, 325th, 82nd Airborne Division, and I currently hold a sniper position. Just coming a sniper, I've always wanted to be in that position, be able to go to the school and just experience it all.
I'm Specialist Veda. I've grown a big love to it. Very mentally challenging, which is very, very attractive to me.
My name is Daniel Cox. Engagement ranges that normal infantry cannot do, I can do. I will get qualified here for that.
You're probably in a sniper section or in a recon section back at your unit. So you have been selected by your peers, by your direct leadership, your platoon leadership, and all the way up to your battalion and brigade to come to the school. But sometimes, you have a bad day on the range, and unfortunately today, if you have a bad day on the range, you go home.
The first thing that we did to get into the course, the M4 qualification, I was worried about that because that's the first no-go or go event, and I passed that, and I'm highly confident about this course now.
It was a good group of guys out. We came out, did our thing, and even though unfortunately some people didn't make it, but I mean, that's simple. It's just rifle qualifications, and I'm just glad that a lot of guys actually made it through so we can get the ball rolling on this course.
Eyes up.
So every berm here, from 1,000 all the way to the actual firing berm, is measured by a berm, so they can tell in yards. They have to convert the number to meters. So here we'll have a vehicle that they've already measured with a scenario, and here you have one of the instructors walking out of the vehicle, gives them about 30 seconds per eye estimation, and then they write it down on their piece of paper. They have to be within 40 meters of accuracy of the actual range.
For range estimation, basically, you start off by your eye, kind of judging distance off how objects appear at certain distances. I think it's definitely taught me a lot about, myself, continuously growing, being able to judge distance just by my naked eye.
So he's able to range estimate with his eyes, a quick snapshot, or utilize his scope. We use the H59, which is basically a mill reticle, and with that is a measuring device. So he uses the mill relation formula to measure and then extrapolate the actual range to the target. In a perfect world, a sniper will leave this schoolhouse and he'll be able to range estimate using a combination of using his eyes, unknown point, maybe using a range card that he already made, and then using that mill relation. And then after that, he'll be able to use a rangefinder. So they get 10 exposures, and then they have to get a 70% to pass. So target detection is notoriously very difficult at the school. We try as hard as possible to get them to not look for items. So that's the biggest thing, is we're making them look for target indicators.
You're trying to look at an item or look at a certain area that has an anomaly in the environment. So let's say white trees and then a black tree. That black tree, you'll scan everything, a box around it, in front of it, and then past it.
Why do we teach them to look for small items, small military items? Well, it's not teaching them to find items, it's teaching them to think like a sniper. So it might be, a blinking light at night that there's not supposed to be anybody out at night, or maybe a flash of a scope at range. Now you know there's a possible enemy sniper out there. So this is what differentiates regular marksmen on the line and infantrymen. You'll talk to some snipers and they just look at things different. Once you leave the schoolhouse, you think differently, you look at things differently, you notice people's hands. It's just one of those things that we train, that we want you to leave the schoolhouse with.
First shot, let's go. Roll left.
So we're doing the ghillie weathering exercise. We're ensuring that their ghillie suits get the right color, which is this Georgia clay color. We're teaching them how to basically be resistant to all kinds of environmentals. You'll do some exercises here going up the hill. We'll do our famous sniper push-up.
One shot! No! One kill!
Basically a long push-up with everybody's hands on the ground, your feet on your shoulders, all the way down like a snake. They'll run over about 200 meters, 300 meters that way to our top ghillie wash, the lane up there. Crawl through, get the mud on their shoulders, on their back, and then they'll do some series of exercises. Buddy carries going down this way, all the way down to our deeper trench. We're teaching them how to basically be resistant to all kinds of environmentals. They got to be able to withstand, you know, cold water, dirty conditions, and that's where a sniper should thrive. So that's the difference between being a sniper and a marksman. You got to be willing to go out there and hide in the mud, hide in the swamps, and, you know, get that opportunity for that one shot.
1, 2, 3.
The importance of the ghillie wash is to get your ghillie suits to be coated in that earthy color. So like if you ghillie washed up in Colorado, it'll be more of that light tan, and then here in Georgia, it's that red brown, that clay.
It's mainly just about the culture and the you know, the teamwork and the rite of passage that comes with it.
Right, point 2.
We just got a brand new rifle, the Mark 22. It's an amazing rifle system. We have 3 different actual calibers that you can actually utilize with that rifle. So they'll have what we call the wind box. Basically, you'll have them come up to the line. We'll give them the dope for each target. They have 5 targets, and an instructor will be shooting for them. He just tells the instructor, hey, I need you to shoot at target alpha, and I need you to dial 3.6 on the gun. The instructor will dial 3.6 on the gun, and at that point, the student he'll be graded on whether or not he can call wind.
They have a known distance. They already tested their dials for that target, and then it's only one considering factor when engaging that target, and that factor is wind, and that's what made it easy. All you had to think about was just wind call and execute.
Each shooter has to learn and be graded on calling wind before he can actually be graded on shooting. It's difficult here, but it's not as difficult as calling wind. Being a spotter, you're usually the more senior sniper. He'll tell him what to do, and he also is telling him, you know, direction and range. So the next grading exercise will be grading their ability to do rapid target engagement. We're kind of working on their basis of positioning. So being able to have stable firing positions from the standing, the kneeling, and also obviously the prone.
It's to accurately put shots on targets in a minimal amount of time. I use different formulas, different holds for that.
You have to be on point every day. Grouping, shooting, making sure you're making that appropriate wind call. There's other courses where you can just strong ranger your way through it. You can't power through this course. You have to get the technical skills down. There's no such thing as a strong sniper. You have to be a smart sniper. Stalking is basically going from a ORP position, so objective rally point. So objective rally point is where you've gotten to the final position where you actually put your ghillie on and you prepare your weapon system, make sure you do your PCCs, PCIs, and then move on to your objective. So we saw a lot of good camouflage in this class. In previous classes, you see guys that they'll barely put anything on.
So what I'm doing right now is that I'm getting a base layer, that's what it's called. I'll be using the ground. So as you can see, there's like a tan and orange because of the pine needles. And then when you go up a little higher, you'll see that there is darker browns like this color. That's what we just got to get through first, and then I can move on to my final firing point.
So you're trying to move undetected to that location to either gather information, call for fire, or, you know, in sniping, take a shot on a target. If they're doing their due diligence, they're putting and actually plotting their location here at the ORP, plotting their location for the truck, and then figuring a tentative plan to get to that location.
According to the map, there's not a whole lot of terrain features to use, so my plan is to move east, and then I'm going to move north, attack from that direction.
Just using a proper base layer just on the ghillie suit, and then once you get close to the objective or the truck, that's when you start vegging up, and then you start going into your FFP, and then all your final procedures before making that shot.
So the observers will be in the back of the LMTV, and the LMTV will be facing away from the lane. They'll be on 10 power Canon optics. And then you have the walkers. They have sticks, They have radios, and then they have a orange section that's 12 inches long. The instructor in the truck calls sniper at your feet. That means he thinks that he's caught you. He has to be within the instructor's steps here and 12 inches from his step. So if an instructor sees someone, or he thinks he sees someone, he'll walk him over. He does a walking sequence, and then at that point he has one chance to say sniper at your feet. If you haven't taken your shot in 3 hours, then that's also a failure.
Just using the right techniques, vegetation, and then just keep quiet.
All right, the range is hot. The range is hot.
So with the movers, we head out to the range and we are given a mover's formula, which basically just takes in the wind and your mill readings.
You have targets in increments from 200 yards all the way to 600 yards. And we were doing it, the wind would shift from left to right to left. So then all of a sudden you have to switch your math.
Yeah, so 0.2 is good.
Non-stop, constant stream of numbers, and you have to be constantly communicating.
It was completely new to me. Like first time ever shooting moving targets with a precision rifle. You had to quickly understand, and then of course there was some frustration at first.
It's all right, man. It's the first day. It's a lot of stuff to get on the first day.
The next day that we shot, I did better at. Sigh of relief, like, oh, done, nice. Last thing is just like an exam. All right, we're good. Got my tab.
Support for the forward lean.
It feels amazing, honestly. Like being a sniper is something I've dreamed about. I've dreamed of being in the military, yes, but something about being a sniper always intrigued me. To finally be able to say in an official capacity that I am a qualified sniper.
It is a hard course in itself because one thing you miss, like, it's over for you, and obviously it's hard to match since. It was definitely worth being here this whole time. Just the training aspect of it, but just getting the knowledge base of it. But I'm just glad I got to know all the stuff that was taught here.
To the guys that, you know, unfortunately they have to go home without their Bravo 4, I tell them this. I tell them, hey, like I said, go train, make sure they keep your head up and keep trying.
There's more things to mess up on, but if you know the information, you will absolutely crush sniper school.
We're teaching them for LSCO now, large-scale combat operations. So when they leave this school, they're able to utilize all the techniques and skills and tactics that they learned here to be able to teach the force and deploy if they have to. It's a different school. It's one of those schools that once you go and you actually complete it, you become part of a very small community, and the brotherhood is there. You'll remember it forever, your times at sniper school, and hopefully, you know, one day these guys will look back and come back to the schoolhouse and become instructors themselves.
Attention! Your mission is to subscribe and beat feet to the next video. Why haven't you done it yet?